Happy ongoing Corona Fest, everybody. It is I, Mr. Panda.
And I'm Roxstar.
And this is the Manly Battleships YouTube channel where we're hosting Last Week in Geek, the video podcast where we go over everything important from Last Week in Geek. Unbranded beverage consumption. We've been in touch with a number of conventions about our calendar, and let me tell you, it's not looking that great until we hit May. And May is a little bit in flux. So when we say that we might be at a convention in May, we might not be at a convention until like June. Or maybe, guys, I don't know. I don't know where we are with the convention, so we'll just keep you updated as much as possible. And in the meantime, once things kind of balance out and find stability here, we might just start working on some more video projects for you, so stay tuned for that, all right? Incidentally, thank you so much for everyone who came out to the ZenkaiCon 2020 community live stream coordinated through Panelists United, aka coordinated mostly by us. But everyone had such great content, and we want to specifically thank anyone who came out for Hetomato and other peculiar days handled by Roxstar. You can still catch the live stream by accessing our channel, looking at our most recent video. We don't have anything to say about Roxstar's need of a sippy cup. First things first, though, we're going to hop into new media.
First thing we have from you is a new show by the creator of Adventure Time, Pendleton Ward. He has a new animation created just for adults called The Midnight Gospel. It's this acid trip of a show about the multiverse and interviews and all that kind of stuff. I definitely suggest you watch it. It's coming out April 20th. Seems very timely, if you ask me. And it's coming to Netflix. So hopefully it's there for a while. What?
You made a joke about smoking marijuana.
This show brought to you by Tegrity.
It was kind of just like pitched almost like an entire series just off of that one Rick and Morty episode with the fart cloud.
I mean,
that's what I'm picturing here.
And the animation looks very much similar to that, actually.
From the creator of The Office, Greg Daniels, comes a new show about life after death. You've seen a lot of ideas about how this would work in our future, about, what's it going to be like with organic death, but when we can preserve you from a digital perspective. You've seen shows like Black Mirror and even Altered Carbon deal with this in different ways. Upload is about a world where you can choose to have your entire personality uploaded to a digital world. Digimon, Digital Monster. Oh man, spin-off show. Spin-off show!
Where the weebs get their own special site and they can just act out all their anime.
With cool transformation sequences and songs? Yes, I'm sold. Upload. Coming on what? Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime, May 1st.
They better not charge me the weeaboo surcharge to get into it. No, now I'm totally excited. No, listen. The creator of Upload, if you're out there, Upload Digital Monsters.
This time we got a full trailer for What We Do in the Shadows, and it looks just as awesome as usual. It looks like Guillermo's gonna finally become a vampire hunter, and Colin is becoming an all-powerful vampire? Crazy shit's about to happen, and I cannot wait for it.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. See, that would be funny if it showed up in the show. We had a teaser last time, now we have a full trailer for the next season of the Harley Quinn animated series. Even more raunchy, even more dangerous, even more funny, we hope, than the last one. In addition to all the characters from last time, we're also going to see the premiere of Mr. Freeze and Catwoman. It sounds like she's actually going to team up with Catwoman against the regular villains, including guys like Bane, for the division of Gotham, much in the way Africa was once divided by colonial powers. It's going to be like Grand Theft Auto. All the gangs divide up the city.
It brings forth the question, why does anyone continue to stay in Gotham?
It's got to be a really tough job as a real estate agent in the city of Gotham.
You see, this particular property is at least mostly far away from most of the villains and rarely gets blown up. So, I mean...
That's my Netflix pitch for tonight. I'm going to go on Twitter right after this. You should vote for this. I'm doing this project where I'm pitching stuff to Netflix on a daily basis, and now it's real estate agent in the city of Gotham. What's going on with you? Oh, well, you see, this is not the place where Joker murdered his entire family.
Just what episode?
No, people don't understand. Like, real estate jobs are really tough. Like, if you deal with a haunted house, or there's all sorts of rules, because if someone finds out that you didn't tell them that someone was murdered in the bedroom, then they could sue you.
Although, in this universe of Harley Quinn, it seems like there's entire talk shows dedicated to the villains and the heroes. So I could totally see, like, villain chasers making sure that they got a property where Joker did murder all of his family.
Oh my god, wait a second though. HGTV in Gotham must be amazing. Villain wreck makeover.
Or this apartment building rarely gets blown up in the middle of her speech. Well, at least now you have a property that you can recreate to your specifications.
It's very airy.
If you're a fan from Bleach, rejoice because you're getting not just one new anime series, but two. So the first one you're going to get is, I assume, fall of 2020. They haven't really postponed it, so I assume it's still happening this fall. And it's called Burn the Witch. Now, you might have seen the manga adaptation already before this, but this time it's actually getting the full anime treatment. And this is a show that takes place 12 years after the 1,000-Year Blood War. And the second one actually is the 1,000-Year Blood War, which will be finishing up the series arc for Bleach, and that'll be happening sometime in 2021.
The rumors are coming true at last. Fans of The Mandalorian are being greeted with a double victory this past week. Not only is Ahsoka Tano showing up in the show, but she is indeed being played by Rosario Dawson. Yes, hooray, I guess.
I'm actually really excited about this because I've just been catching up on Clone Wars, and I love Ahsoka Tano. She's like my favorite character, and it totally would make sense for Rosario Dawson to play her.
That's fine, but how did she survive the Great Jedi Purge?
This is spoiler.
Yeah, Anakin Skywalker would totally not care about that.
He's not caught up. Don't listen to him. He's an idiot.
Oh, does she join Red Dawn?
No.
Darth Maul, I got cut in half, but still I'm running the world.
Sega has given us a new character for St. Patty's Day. This has a bit of a story attached to it. So, last year for St. Patty's Day, they ended up having a character, Jet the Hawk, you know, in Irish garb with a pot of gold and everything. And then Jacksepticeye responded to that and says, I would love to voice Irish the Hedgehog. And the artist from Sega, Matt Hughes, was totally on board with this. He created Irish the Hedgehog, and this year, not only do we get to see the full concept, but we get to hear Jacksepticeye voice him. That's on Sega's official Twitter. Whether or not he's a canon is yet to... It depends on what you see as canon for the Sonic universe, but now we have Irish the Hedgehog.
Hooray for casual racism against white Europeans.
I mean, is it...
No, because the Irish aren't white. Are you experiencing cabin fever? Do you find yourself lost, dark, in the winter nights, wondering what is going to become of you and the rest of society and the world itself? Have no fear! George R.R. Martin, trapped in his own room with nothing but his word processing unit from the 90s, is finally typing out the remnants of A Song of Ice and Fire. He is our only hope. Send your force to him. Give him your energy. It is only by the completion of the next novel that society will be saved from COVID-19.
That thing that was rumored to happen last week has finally been confirmed. Black Widow has been postponed for its release indefinitely, with no release date given. I suppose that's what indefinitely means, but...
Yes, that's exactly what indefinitely means, Roxstar.
It's becoming ever clearer to me that I will be spending my birthday in isolation.
By the way, The Walking Dead Worlds Beyond is also being delayed, not for any specific production reason, just because of, quote, current circumstances. That'll be coming out later in the year, but they haven't posted a new date yet.
If you're a fan of D&D, you're probably a fan of Critical Role. Here's a problem. All of their live streams for their D&D playthroughs are being kind of postponed indefinitely. However, their other series, All Work, No Play, is still continuing as those have already been pre-recorded and the last 2 episodes will be out on their scheduled releases.
Meanwhile, we're still making videos. Pray for us, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the week, meme of the week. This is where we tell you about the meme of the week. Here's where we're going to die with our memes. Well, yeah, because as millennials, we know we're just going to keep memeing until we all die. And Gen Zs.
Gen Zs are also millennials. Stop acting like they're not.
Nope.
Gen Y, which is what you keep calling millennials, and Gen Z are both millennials. We both came to adulthood in the new millennium.
What about Gen X?
Gen X doesn't. Gen X were adults in the 90s. The meme of the week for this episode is this Mr. Incredible meme, also known as the We Get There When We Get There meme, featuring a future that we can definitely all see coming. Having said that, we're going to roll into the real news.
So last week we announced that AMC and Regal were just splitting their audience capacity by 50%. This year...
They're closed! Everything is closed! Everything good and wholesome and friendly in this world is closed, except for GameStop. But that's another story.
I mean, at this point, we're not going to update you with what's closed and what's open because everything changes every hour. So... figure out your own state's rules about what's open and whether or not you have to shelter in place, because that might be a thing we're all doing soon.
Hint, GameStop is still open. They're only doing curbside assistance now, that's all. To help get you through these trying times, Universal is providing a huge amount of movies available for digital rental. For $20, you can get these movies for 48 hours on stream, including Sonic the Hedgehog. So if you didn't see it in theaters, now is the perfect time to lock in and watch this glorious, glorious film.
Toei has announced that they have started a YouTube channel for vintage tokusatsu shows. They range from the 60s to the 90s, and the official YouTube channel is called Toei Tokusatsu World Official. I don't know why they named it that, but that's where you can find a whole bunch of these shows to get you through the quarantine and shelter in place.
You can do the Monster Mash. Guys, it's a graveyard smash!
They will start uploading April 6th. Happy watching!
In the likely event that you were part of the not impressive box office at Onward, because who was going to the theater at that point, Disney will still allow you to pick up Pixar's latest film. You can rent it digitally for $20, much like Universal's situation, and starting on April 3rd, it will be available on Disney+.
Earlier this week, news outlets were talking about how Wonder Woman 1984 was going to be the next movie to be released digitally and not even go to theaters. Except Warner Brothers had a huge issue with that because it's not happening, guys. They have confirmed that they're not just straight releasing it to digital. It will still come out in theaters. We just don't know when yet.
Why, though? They're not looking for Oscar nominations, presumably, in a superhero sequel film that is far from as good as a lot of the Marvel entries. So, what's the goal here? Speaking of the Warner Brothers lineup, Birds of Prey, assuming you want to watch it for some reason, is only $20 and is available for purchase. Rental options aren't out yet for some reason, but they will be coming out starting in April.
If you'd rather spend your time playing video games, there have been a lot of games being released for free or at least relatively cheap recently. So, these games include, but are not limited to, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Altos Odyssey, which I was told it's kind of like an endless runner kind of situation. The Gwent The Witcher card game is out. The Stanley Parable is one of those many free games that you could access to. If you want a whole listing of everything you could possibly access for cheap or free, it's in the link below.
Now, of course, not everyone is a complete introvert like Roxstar and wants to watch their stuff alone. So to accommodate this, Netflix has come up with a new plugin that allows you to synchronize viewing with your friends. Isn't that marvelous? It's like they're catching up to Facebook Watch Party at last. There's two different modes that are with this plugin. Either there could be a single master who can control the pausing, the skipping, the we really don't need to watch the credits for the umpteenth time kind of thing. Or you can set it up to be, free will, where anyone can interrupt the game. Which is the worst mode. Don't do that.
While the Razzies may have canceled their live performance, they still put out something because the show must go on, and it's aptly titled of their YouTube video, The Lockdown Edition. There's not much surprise since Cats did sweep a good portion of the nominations, but they didn't win everything. In case you want to know what it was, The link to the YouTube video is down below.
Speaking of cats, you may have run into a new hashtag on Twitter or elsewhere called hashtag release the butthole cut. There's been a rumor going around that there is an edition of cats in the early stages of development where they decided to put buttholes on all the cat characters. However, subsequently, and I might say to my own disappointment, a VFX artist anonymously explained that what was happening was in the editing room, they were noticing that the cat skins being grafted onto the characters by digital art had portions that got folded in such a way that kind of looked like vaginas and buttholes. But there was never a cut where they were actually adding butts to these cats. But it did make for a lot of awkward conversations. You know, people coming and be like, does this look like a butt to you?
Subsequently, for all of you doing the hashtag release, the J.J. Abrams release for Star Wars, they just confirmed that also doesn't exist. Sorry.
The movie is just as terrible as it was always meant to be.
Not every movie has a hashtag Zack Snyder release. In weird y'all need Jesus news, PornHub has actually come out with how many people are currently watching COVID porn. You see, they've recorded spikes from 120 million to 134 million as more and more people are asked to please stay at home, with searches for COVID porn reaching about 9 million at the most that they've ever had it. Now, as the seriousness of the virus has become more and more prevalent, the searches have gone down, with the most latest numbers being somewhere more in the 400,000 searches a day.
You need to come to Sunday school.
Seriously, some of y'all need Jesus.
In weird OK Boomer news, Bernie Sanders has announced that if his loop video on TikTok gets 6 million loops, he will finally learn to play Minecraft. OK Boomer.
Seriously, who wants this? I don't understand.
I mean, I'd play Minecraft with Bernie Sanders.
That's not what I was asking.
Actually, no, you're right. That's a terrible idea. He would take all my sapphire and distribute it to the poor people. I jealously guard my lapis lazuli. Let me tell you about my Cobblestone for All initiative.
The digital world often mimics reality, and in this case, players from Fallout 76 have begun to stockpile toilet paper and sell them at ridiculous prices.
Very entrepreneurial of them.
Players have been placing well-guarded pieces of toilet paper inside of glass cases, and completely unrelated, months before this all happened, Fallout 76 had vending machines where players could put in valuable objects for other players to come and buy, and those particular players could set prices. They're being filled with rolls of toilet paper ranging from prices from 500 caps, which is already a little excessive for a roll of toilet paper, to the highest being 25,000 caps.
It's a buyer's market.
Clearly, because people are actually buying it at those prices.
And to wrap things up, the tech industry is having a heck of a time trying to keep up with the sudden influx of people staying home with a lot of time on their hands. This encompasses game companies, of course. At least 2 outages have been reported for the Xbox Live market, and even the Nintendo Switch store went down. It's probably because of Animal Crossing downloads, I'm willing to bet. Discord has reported multiple outages, and even mainstream consumers on places like Netflix, Hulu, and YouTube have had to tighten their belts a little bit because these services have started downgrading a lot of stream feeds. By default, they no longer start in HD. They start in standard definition. This effort is hopefully going to combat 2 different issues. One, of course, is data caps, because guess what, guys? Your internet company still sucks and expects you to keep within a certain level of data. And the other issue is they don't want an outage. They don't want the website to go down from overloading. So if you can tolerate the standard definition, this might be the best time to do it. Just so everyone can still get what they need to survive this crisis. We'll be leaving you on that note, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining us here at Last Week in Geek, Manly Battleships video podcast, where we impart the important news so that you stay informed, in particular during times like these. There is a subscribe button If you're new to the channel, you should be pushing that. There's also the follow bell so that you can see all the new content we come up with. Quality content for a quality audience member, such as yourself. Leave a comment below if you would like to share your thoughts for anything that we've covered. And as always, I'm Mr. Panda.
And I'm Roxstar. We will see you next week.